And of course, we've got 4 big games coming up your way today. Of course, we've got 2 AFLW games, and of course, we've got 2 of the men's finals. That's right, the 2 AFLW games. We have Melbourne and Brisbane, which should be a fantastic game. Of course, the reigning premiers in Brisbane, who started off with a slow start to their season, and of course, Melbourne with a victory in the first round. Of course, the next game following this will be another AFLW game. That's Collingwood taking on Hawthorn. Games after that, we've got the preliminary, we've got the qualifying final. Sydney Swans in the men's taking on the Giants. And of course, later on after that this evening, we've got the elimination final, Brisbane taking on Carlton. So it should be fantastic. Just having a look at the ladder as they stand for the AFLW. Let me straighten it up a little bit. As we can see in this game, Melbourne here with their 1 victory. Of course, last week they beat Geelong by 2 points. They're sitting in 9th on the ladder. And of course, Brisbane down there, the reigning premiers. They had a big loss to North Melbourne, the runners-up premiers, last year. So that's where they both sit on the ladder today, folks. All right, let me get this straight for everybody out there. I'll get a little bit of vision up. Get the game coming with the commentators. All right, so the players are out on the ground. Oops, sorry, let me get this straight. All right, let's have a quick look at the team lineups there. Sorry, let me just get this straighter for you, everyone out there. My gosh. The challenges of getting this right. All right, let's have a look at the lineups. Of course, for Melbourne, Pisano and Campbell going out at Harris and Lauren Pearce. And of course, for the Lions, Hartill coming in and Davison is going out. They are the ins and the outs for the team's game. For the match today, Colvin Gillard are the fullbacks for Melbourne. Chaplin, Heath, Paxman, halfbacks. Namara, Lampard, McKinn, the centres. Bannon, Mithen, Fitzsimmons, the half forwards. Pisano and Zanka are the full forwards, and the followers are Campbell, Hanks and Hoare. And of course for Brisbane, the fullbacks Dunham, Bolts. We've got the halfbacks Caneen, Grider and Ellinger. Of course the centres O'Dwyer, Anderson, Conway. The half forwards Pottleswaite, Hoda, Savak. Of course the full forwards are Smith and Davison. The followers Hickle, Dawes and Spark. There we go. There are your team lineups for today's game, where Brisbane and Melbourne play off. Melbourne taking on Brisbane there at Casey Fields there in Melbourne. A beautiful day. Sun shining, just a few clouds, 14 degrees. Should be in for a good game. This AFLW first game of the day. All right, folks, let me take it down to the ground. Welcome in everyone who's coming into the live today to enjoy the football. Of course, we've got best of both worlds. We've got the AFLW that starts us off, and later on this afternoon, we got the men's finals, so we're in for a big day of football. And Harvey says you're going to cover all the games. I'm going to cover as many games as we can. 2 of the women's and 2 of the men's. There we go. All right, let me take you back down to the ground. And they will take us into the first quarter as we've got 40 seconds to go as Melbourne take on Brisbane.
Windy when given the chance, but should be a lovely morning for a great day of footy. And Melbourne, of course, looking to turn their week around. It's been a big week of upheaval at the Melbourne Footy Club. A new president as of last night, with Kate Roffey stepping down and Brad Green in the chair. And unfortunate injury news, of course, too, with Taylor Harris out for the rest of the season. She'll have surgery in the next few days on that shoulder. And news last night, as you mentioned, about Lauren Pearce, the ruck. She's suffered a scaphoid injury at training on Thursday, so she'll have surgery in the next few days as well. So obviously the Bees are looking to turn that week around with 4 points here today against Brisbane and get things off to a winning start this morning for them. It should be a cracking contest, and we'll be right here in the sunshine for you, enjoying it.
Thanks very much, Lauren. A big day as well for two players out there. Alyssa Bannon playing her 50th AFLW game, Charlotte.
Absolutely, 50 in a row. Won a flag in there. She's the youngest player to get there and the second fastest, just behind Courtney Hodder by 7 days to get there as well.
And Courtney Hodder's teammate, Taylor Smith, another integral member of that Brisbane forward line. She plays her 50th game as well. So congratulations to those two players. These two clubs, so successful since the AFLW started back in 2017. They meet again for the 10th time here at Casey Fields. Underway. Great to have your company wherever you are around the country. It's a monster day of footy, and it's our privilege to bring it to you here from Cranbourne. Kate Hoare starting in the middle. The Hickey going up in the ruck against Campbell. So with Lauren Pearce out, Campbell doing the main ruck work for the D's today. Lions will get the clearance though. Dwyer loves to run and go. Kicks it deep inside 50. Smith caught behind. Good enough to bring it to ground level. She has Gillard for company. That's away to ground level. Was she taken high? Umpire had a good look that said it will be a ball up close to Brisbane's goal.
Already all Dwyer's work through the middle of the ground, really impactful.
McMahon attacked it. The kick will come out here from Campbell towards some open space in the wing. Dunn was tracking it, sort of caught in two minds whether to let it go or attack it. Pisano involved early with Bannon. Handball came back though from Hickey to Bolts. Bounce had to suit Anderson, and it did. Now a high kick inside 50 from Kathy Spark. Just got short in the end, and he's able to take an easy intercept mark. McNamara to rebound. A little shaky off the boot. Four set of task has Ruby Spark for company. Lots of lines around this footy. Dwyer waiting to sweep on the outside.
Really positive signs here from the Lions, just up on their toes, really trying to get the ball forward just to be able to get some good touches nice and early off the back of last week's performance.
Oh, Dawes came through one of that footy more than anyone else. Didn't quite gather it cleanly. Such an exciting player, a big improver in Brisbane's premiership year last year, El Dawes. Mackin coming off a career best game last week. Bounced though, suited Ellinger. He shrugged the shoulders and got it to Hodder. And now Conan, the captain, coming through. Loves a long shot at goal. Goes deep inside 50. Punched away from Smith into the lap of Conway, who couldn't get a kick away, and he's caught holding the ball.
Interesting to see Conan so high up the field doing that deep inside 50 kick there. Normally, of course, we're so used to seeing her across the half-back line. So interesting setup from the Brisbane Lions, looking to be a really attacking defensive line.
So Colvin will bring it out towards that outer side. You can see the wind. It does sort of seem to be going across the ground at the moment. It's that tackle from Colvin, well executed. The Lions, in the meantime, will have another inside 50. Smith is caught behind again. And Colvin in front, able to win the ball back for Melbourne. Team number 29 for Gabrielle Colvin. Towards half-back. Quite away behind. And Conway happy to see the ball over the boundary line and out of bounds with Lily Mithen.
I mean, look at these young players, Ben. Lily Mithen was one of the youngsters in this team, and just the way in which she's sort of grown up, and now she's one of those leaders in this club, being able to support the young kids coming through, like McNamara, like Pisano, been a great contributor for a long time.
Mithen is one of 7 players out there today across the two teams that played in both of these clubs' first ever game, round 1 2017, at this venue. First 9 meetings between the two sides, so they've met 9 times in 9 seasons. The D's lead the head-to-head 6-3. They're the only team actually that has the better of Brisbane in a head-to-head record since in AFLW history.
They've always been such great contests, haven't they been? Just so tight, you never know who's going to win.
Davidson applying a big tackle on the side. Terrific form, Dakota Davidson, across the past 12 months. Hanks explodes from the stoppage and gets the high kick towards half forward. Bannon brings it to ground. Conway caught again. Umpire thought about holding the ball, but the Lions can look to bring it away. Ellinger handballs to Anderson and went short. Melbourne Just want to try and get some forward territory. You can see the ball really holding up in the breeze. Zanka went up high, Ellinger down low, able to bring it away. Dunn kicks in towards the middle. Conway lurking at ground level. Bannon in her 50th game. Went forward. Zanka able to take a strong mark out in front. Such a dangerous player. Melbourne's first inside 50 almost coming up.
So first forward foray, really, with any convincing.
Tucked away there from Pisano. Ball goes over the line and out of bounds. There is Alicia Pisano on screen. Kate Horse said pre-season of Pisano that she will turn heads in this AFLW competition, the pick 5 in the 2023 draft. Boundary throw in. Anderson waiting at ground level. Mackin came through, as did Kathy Spark. Dawes feeding it back to Conan. That's a well-weighted left foot kick to Anderson, who's been busy early. Just gets her kick away. And well-weighted to Postlethwaite. She pulls the trigger with a kick into the middle. Dawes tracking it. And took a strong mark.
This is excellent work by the Lions, really composed.
Right in the middle of Casey Fields. Conan has some support on the outer side. It comes from Hartle. In fact, it's Dunn who is able to win it and handball it over top to O'Dwyer. Wants her left side, gets her left side, top of the goal square. Smith brings it to ground. Colvin is there, saving the day again. Hodder lurking dangerously though, picks it up, quick as a flash, kicks to the top of the goal square. No one was near Davidson for the D's, and Davidson says, thanks, I'll kick the first goal of the game.
Well, that was really great work there from the Brisbane Lions. Melbourne's first inside 50 entry. The Lions just picked it apart with method. They were slow, composed. They looked for the loose player, were able to take their time. They had lots of run and overlap, being able to use the width of the ground as well to bring the footy inside. And then poor defensive work there by Melbourne left Davidson. All that intended in the goal square. Easy goal for the Lions. Well done.
Chemist Warehouse goal replay. Great work from Courtney Hodder as well. So determined, in and under. And Davidson, quick as a flash, able to kick the goal. It means she's kicked at least one goal, Shiloh, in 20 of her past 21 straight games.
Yeah, no surprises there. She's super dangerous, knows how to find the goals, just hunts the footy, able to position herself super well. Just a great contributor to the Brisbane Lions.
All-Australian last year and kicked those two crucial goals in the fourth quarter of the grand final against North Melbourne. Well, back in the middle, you can see Courtney Hodder of the Lions having a run on the ball here. Hall just fumbled at ground level. Well played by Kathy Spark. So determined to hit on the ball, but excellent follow-up from Hall. Lions just winning the ball at the coalface a bit more cleaner at the moment. Anderson will give the Lions another look inside 50, and it couldn't have been kicked much better to Hartle. Bounced off her chest though. Anderson will have another crack. Inside 50 it goes. Hampson tracking it. Kept her feet. Gillard with her head over the footy. Now Mackin linking up. The D's hack it away. Won't be coming back towards Conan, although Goldrick met it first and was good enough to see it over the line into neutral territory for a boundary throw-in.
Brisbane's had 34 disposals to just Melbourne 17, and they're tracking at 79% efficiency, which is why they've been able to move the footy forward for those inside 50 entries, 5-1.
Hickey and Campbell. Mackin had her kick smothered. Quick hands from Anderson. Hodder lurking on the outside there. Spills free, and the D's put the ball in towards the middle. And over the ball on that occasion was McNamara. Still fighting hard, Eliza McNamara. Unsurprisingly, Kathy Spark right in amongst the action at the coalface, and McNamara lets her know about it. Goldrick trying to find some free space. Back to go forward. McNamara involved again. Good run from behind. Zanka was set a task below her knees. Well played by Dunn. Just to paddle it away into space, and then keeps her feet and almost picked it up cleanly. Lions players arrived by Conway to force the ball up, and that's well played by Jen Dunn.
That was excellent play. She was outnumbered, realised she was, just played it really carefully, didn't go to ground, just kept tapping the ball to advantage, keep it in front of her until the cavalry arrived. Now they've got to stop it on the wing.
Another touch for Anderson. Goldrick tracking it though, bumped off the ball by Dawes. That was strong. And Dawes, relentless, went back and won it, and then won a high free kick. Such a busy player. Goes short, was hoping for Hampson, but Goldrick read it better off the boot. Moved into the midfield this season and had a great game last week against the Cats. Heath. Hoping for Mackin. Ellinger loves to run, as does Mackin though. What a game she played against Geelong last week too.
How good's that matchup, Ben?
Two running machines going at it. Conan tried to mark the ball cleanly, but it went over the line and out of bounds. Looks like Conan, when Kate Hall goes forward, Shiloh has got the matchup on the Melbourne skipper. So the two captains going head-to-head inside the Melbourne forward 50.
I feel like we can go across the whole ground, Ben, and look at all the matchups and go, how exciting is that? How exciting is that? Just going to be a game of really good one-on-one battles around the ground.
See the breeze really holding up the footy. Hickey, great strength to push her opponent off the ball, win it cleanly, but then must have just got a handball away according to the umpire. Dawes retreats. The Lions move the ball forward, taken by Mullins. She goes in the middle, but the kick was ill-directed and McNamara gobbles it up. Lions really well set up though behind the ball, so no easy kicks for Melbourne. McNamara goes towards half forward, and there is Conan again, beating Hall to the ball. Dangerous kick short. Nice fist in there from Chaplin. Allows Goldrick to pounce. Work it out via hand. Kick inside 50. Zanker so dangerous. Turned so well. Kick towards goal. And it's just off to the right. Melbourne's first shot at goal is a minor. Zanker looking dangerous early.
We don't mind how that came in. Lots of movement. Zanker can pick the ball off the deck as cleanly as anyone. There's lots of options up in that forward 50 for the Demons. Right.
Dual All-Australian, dual premiership player.
And you see Brisbane just opting to just chip kick it forward. Little short kicks. Control the footy.
Bolts was hugging the line and hugged it too much. Bannon puts it towards a dangerous position for the Lions defence. Huge fly, Zanker over the top, spectacular leap. No free kick, no mark. Play on is the call. Brisbane rebound into the middle. Gillard had the height, brought the ball to ground, then went back and won it. Lions fans wanted a free kick for holding the ball, none forthcoming. Eden Zanker looking ominous early stages here at Casey Fields.
It's a massive fly.
Anderson wrapped up, already has 7 disposals. Ali Anderson has a good record against Melbourne. 9 games, averages 18 disposals, 3 clearance across all those games. Hodder from the stoppage. Hardle didn't get a kind bounce. D's have numbers. Gillard called for a throw.
Great to see Courtney Hodder through the middle bench. She's played all of her footy as that small forward, but they're really trying to diversify what she does and bringing her up into the middle, give them better options up through the middle of the ground, and it's fantastic to see.
Hardle got too close to the player on the mark, but followed up her own work with another kick. Handball further afield to a very dangerous player in Hodder. Back in familiar territory, but not a familiar finish. Really back her in that situation, but she misses everything.
Well, she's kicked some pretty special goals on this ground,
yes.
Ben Hodder. And you don't need to give her much of a chance.
Goal of the year back in 2021, mark of the year last year. Dawes, strong. Little kick came out though from Fitzsimon. Conan beats Hall, but how about the follow-up tackle from Kate Hall? With authority that one was laid with. As we head downstairs to Lauren Wood.
One of the toughest D's guys, Paxi Paxman, came off and had her left ankle looked at by the physios. A bit of taping, has been waiting to get on the ground. It's just spent a bit of time on the phone to Coach Mick Stanier, but just can't get back into the action.
Game 74 for Paxman today. Great tackle applied there from Heath. Hodder tracking it. Now O'Dwyer rushes to kick forward. Dropped there by Chaplin. Allows Brisbane with a sniff. Pressure applied by Smith. And she wins it back for Brisbane. Davidson screaming for it deep. It heads in the Dakota direction. It might track over her head and through for a spectacular Taylor Smith goal.
But that was a brilliant passage of play, some really tough work on the near wing here, and then be able to just track the footy forward, just the pressure causing the turnover, and Taylor Smith gets her own chance. Tried to just put it deep to Davidson in the goal square, but the wind has carried the footy a little bit deeper, and in her 50th game ban, Taylor Smith's got her first one for the game.
Great penetration on the kick, the kind bounce. And Taylor Smith in game 50 kicks her 29th AFLW goal, kicked a career best 9 goals from 12 games last year. Just her 6th year of footy as well, Shiloh. An athletics background, star high jumper, then into the heptathlon where she competed at national level. Now doing great things for the Lions, a dual premiership player. Dees get the centre clearance. Hoare tracking it, excellent courage shown by Grider. Couldn't quite hold on to it though. Hoare pounces, beautiful handball. Can set up a scoring opportunity here for Beasley. It tracks left and just squeezes in for a behind.
A great response there from Melbourne to win the centre clearance, to be able to get a quick, nice inside 50, nice and deep there. Really good response from the D's.
It's Taylor Harris on screen. Christian Petrarca next to her. Smith read that ball really well off the boot. Had a look forward towards Mullins, then applies the pressure. O'Dwyer arrives to lock it up. And outer wing here at Casey Fields. Spectacular day. 2 proud clubs, highly successful AFLW teams across the 8 in the bed season so far. Hodder missed her teammate, allowed Mithen to send the ball forward into the arc. Grider tracking it and happy to see it over the line. But a good opportunity here for Melbourne to have a look from a forward 50 stoppage. The ballers live predominantly inside that Brisbane forward half.
Yeah, good opportunity here for Melbourne. Just a repeat forward movement. Hopefully get an inside 50 for them. Just gets their confidence up. Inside 50 counts 7-6 in favour of Brisbane. But not too long ago, Ben, it was 5-1. So really Melbourne responding well in the second half of this first quarter.
Spare a thought for the boundary umpires on that outer side all day as well. It's going to be hard spinning the ball back in.
I've seen the wind do interesting things already. The goal there from Taylor Smith. Nice, long, deep kicks coming from defence. We might have to ask Lauren Wood on the boundary if there's much of an advantage for either team with the wind out there today.
Well, it's a little bit of a sort of southeast swirler, guys. It seems to be having more of an effect on that far side, but certainly picking up. So we'll keep you updated. We're safe on the broadcast side at the moment, but stay tuned.
Pinched here by Dawes coming through. Eyes lit up straight away. Kick inside 50. There were 2 lines in the vicinity. One of them was Davidson. And now Dawes gets it back. Arch the back. The feign was superb. Then got the handball away. Almost could have gone herself. Still tracking it here. Other lines. Beasley just got a handball away. Good composure from Mithen. McNamara to Hall. And the D's somehow get away with that.
That's a lovely response from the Demons. Just put the pressure on Brisbane, just overusing the footy a little bit there. Some really beautiful class there from Dawes, but great response from Melbourne again.
Porter to the wing position. Asano waiting at ground level, as was Campbell. Handball towards Beasley. Ruby Spark is so quick though. And was able to get back and not only apply the tackle, but win the footy back for a holding the ball free kick. Conway with 40 seconds left in this opening quarter. Players converge down the line. Conway heads in that direction. Smith will be the flyer. Comes to the back here. Hill. Bannon dropped the mark. Big bump applied there from Grider. Still time here for the Lions. Conway, lovely feign. Eyes light up. Kicks towards, right across the face of goal. And Mackin got a crawl bounce. Smith applies the pressure. Mackin just gets boot to ball. Important she did as well. That might just be enough for the D's, who will go into quarter time down by 10 points, despite Brisbane having most of the forward half territory. Don't go anywhere. Second quarter coming up on the other side of this from Casey Fields.
Welcome in, everybody. Of course, later on, folks, later on, it's going to be cheeseburgers on Addy G when he gets his big multi up. Can you believe it? The multi is alive. The Giants and the Blue Baggers. Why not? They're a big chance. The way the games have been going so far, there's a big chance. Big chance. Hey, Ebony. G'day, Ryan. What's going on, Duana? J Ma. What's happening? Here we go. Opening quarter, both teams going quite well here. Of course, the reigning premiers, Melbourne, getting off to a good start. 2 goals, 0-12 to Melbourne, just the 2 behinds, 2 points. Funnily enough, Melbourne have the best record win over Brisbane in the competition. I think they said it's about 6-3 Melbourne's way. Yet Melbourne go in as underdogs to the Brisbane Lions as favourites today. That's a pretty good game, both getting their chances, both getting their opportunities inside their forward 50. We'll have a look in a moment. Just have a look for Ali Anderson leading the way, 8 disposals. Isabel Dawes on 7. For the Lions, all Lions top of the table. Svark and Ellinger on 6. There we go. Mackin leading the way there for Melbourne. Best with 5. We'll go down here. We'll have a look at the inside 50 stats, see how they're going. I think they're about 7 all, somewhere around there. But in for a big day of football. Of course, this game, and of course, following this game, folks, we've got Adrian's favourite team, Collingwood, taking on the might of the Hawks in the AFLW, so that should be a good game. That should be a pretty close game, actually, the way I saw both teams play last week. Hawks weren't too bad in the AFLW. Pies weren't too bad, so it should be interesting. Looking at the goal scorers, there's only 2 goal scorers. Of course, Taylor Smith and Dakota Davison there for the Brisbane Lions. Tell you what, she's a fiery one, is Davidson. Let's have a quick look at the team stats. You just voted in... your local mayor and council election. Good stuff. Yeah, I don't know when we've got ours. Don't know. Ryan, you should have run for mayor. You could have been a good chance there. You could have been a good chance. Oh, look at those disposals. Lions on top here at the moment. 74-50. Well and truly on top on the disposal count. But the game evened out. Lions had most of the run in that opening quarter, but the Melbourne steadied the ship. After about 6-5 or 6-1 inside 50s, Melbourne got that back on track pretty good. Kicks, only 8. Lions loving the handball there, 35-9. Inside 50s was 5-1 at one stage, but Melbourne got that back inside 50 6 times for their 2 behinds. Need to kick a little bit straighter. I believe there is a fair bit of a wind going to the outer side of the ground, so that could make it a little bit difficult. But nonetheless, it looks like a beautiful day there. The sun is shining, a few clouds in the air, but no rain on the horizon, so it should be good. Brisbane inside 59 times just for their 2 goals. So both teams going at 33 and a third % efficiency inside 50. Disposal efficiency, of course, 66 to Brisbane and 54 to Melbourne. See, both teams aren't too bad. Both teams have been reasonably clean with the ball, which is great to see, especially from what we saw on a few games, or especially what we saw in the game last night from the girls and some last week. Free kicks, 4-1. Brisbane Lions on top there, even though it's a Melbourne home game. Hit-outs, Lions well and truly on top. 13-5. Clearances, centre clearances, stoppage clearances, all dead even there. Contested possessions, pretty easy. 26 apiece, uncontested. Lions, as I said, in control there, 43-25. Turnovers, 15-17, always going to get a few of those. And of course, the marks, 9 each. No inside 50 marks yet. I'm sure we'll get some of those coming up in the second quarter, where we're about to head back down to the ground. Coaches having their final words to their players in the huddle. Some eyes will take you back down to the ground and they will take us into the second quarter, whereas the Lions by 10 points.
Milo Curtis. But probably in the end, though, the D's have done pretty well to only be within the 10 points in the first change, Charlotte.
Yeah, absolutely, Ben. And look, Brisbane are winning the outside football. The numbers of the clearances in the contest are pretty even, but it's more the work around the outside of the footy. The uncontested possessions, Brisbane are clearly winning that. They're plus 18 on those numbers. And then their handball receives, Ben, plus 15 on the handball receives. So it gives you an indication of how they're using the footy. It's just when they go inside 50, they're lacking a bit of composure and just some turnover marks there, giving Melbourne an easy exit from defence. So could be worse, but Melbourne's hanging in there and they're responding every time Brisbane go forward.
And a big reason behind Brisbane's uncontested possession dominance is the work rate of Ali Anderson, which we've come to expect as well. But a game high, 9 disposals in that opening quarter.
Yeah, phenomenal work from her. She's just leading from the front, isn't she? Just the work rate. And Brisbane's really putting lots of numbers at the ball, both on the inside and on the outside. So they're blanketing Melbourne when the ball gets out. So, and Ali Anderson's just doing all the work in both directions.
She certainly is. She's obviously an AFLW best and fairest winner from several seasons ago. Well, Mick Stanier is the D's coach, and he's downstairs with Lauren.
Thanks, Ben. Mick, obviously not the start you would have wanted. Where to from here?
Yeah, and I think it was a competitive start. Scoreboard, probably similar opportunities. They had a little bit more of the ball than us. I do think there's 1 or 2 goals in the breeze. It's a bit swirly, but I'm hoping it's favouring that end and we can capitalise. We just need to use the ball a little bit better, but keep turning up in the contest, and I think we can get it to turn around.
It's a Casey special, that southeast swirler, isn't it? But you must take great heart, obviously did it last week up against it, that they can take a bit of confidence from that from here too.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I think it's a team that's prepared to work and put that hard work in, and yeah, now's our opportunity against a quality side. So, hoping to get reward for effort in this quarter.
Get back up there in the box. Best of luck for the rest of the game.
Thanks, Lauren. Cheers.
Thanks to Mick and Lauren. Ali Anderson picking up from where she left off at the start of his second term. The D's will get it going their way. Bannon in front, too strong there for Grider. Good confidence boosting moment for her. Kicks it deep inside 50. Zanka looking right up in the sun. That was a tough footy to win. Done at the back as Pisano for company. O'Dwyer on the right side for a left footer. Anderson really clean at ground level, and that is no exception. Although Hall was right on her tail, applied terrific pressure. Good pressure coming as well from Dawes. O'Dwyer down the line. Campbell, in the end, uncontested, takes the mark. Paxman the target. Back on the field. Just a little injury scare, as we heard from Lauren in that first quarter. And number 74 for Paxman, inside 50. All travels over the head of McNamara. Hickey there waiting to rebound. Conway, ample time and space to assess and distribute. Postlethwaite got a kind bounce and sweeps it over the top to Smith. He just fumbled at the wrong time. And the D's happy to see it over the line for a boundary throw-in.
Obviously an instruction coming up from Mick Stanier about going nice, long and deep, using this end of the ground. They obviously believe there's a bit of wind that can have an influence on the game. So every time they get the footy from the middle part of the ground, they're going as long and deep inside 30 as they possibly can.
Hickey from behind, won it down, but Campbell could follow up at ground level. Dawes standing up strong. Handball back to Kathy Spark. McNamara applies the pressure. Spark following up. In Kate Porter ground. Here is Kathy Spark, such a warrior for the Brisbane Lions. Dawes, excellent decision to go short with Postlethwaite. Really found a role forward of centre for the Lions in the past couple of years. Kicked out just wide of Conway. It's a pretty exciting young group, though, still with ample experience to their name, though, in terms of Dawes to Postlethwaite to Conway. It's the core of Brisbane, not only now, but going forward, Charlotte.
Yeah, and that's the opportunity of these foundation clubs as well. They came in with a lot of experience from the previous competitions that existed around the country before the W, and then being able to bring in these young kids along the way. So the clubs that have been able to balance the experience with the new kids and put some good supports around them, they've been pretty successful.
Great strength from Hall. That's an excellent intercept mark from Bolts on the wing. Arrived at the Lions as a midfielder, but has found a home in defence. Nice sidestep to gain some territory. Chaplin attacked it. Potter lurking at ground level. Handball came out from the lines. Conan with the smother. They keep it alive and paddling forward. Quick kick comes into the middle. Ellinger was there with Dunn. Now Hickey. It's athletic below her knees. Kicks it inside 50. Smith had the body position. Excellent defensive fist came. Great crumb from Anderson. In the end, Mackin able to intercept and rebound. And the kick, again, the sun proving a bit of an issue, this time for Zanka. Allows the Lions to pounce here. High kick from Dunn. Sets a task for O'Dwyer. Melbourne might win out through numbers. Mithun sweeps it out wide to Fitzsimon. And Mackin will have another crack. Towards a 2-on-2. Another excellent intercept mark from Poppy Boggs.
She reads the play so beautifully.
What about drawing her teammate in Lutkins? Instead, kicked it into the middle. Anderson playing quintessential Anderson game. Hodder at half forward. Paxman able to read it. Quick kick came out from Lampard. Conan standing in the way. So Brisbane done well to lock the ball in their forward half in the past couple of minutes. Can they get some scoreboard reward for effort? Conway assesses and kicks and goes deep. Davidson at the back, it will fall well short of her. And Chaplin with an intercept. Almost ran straight into Davidson. Goes for the switch. It's a high kick and the ball sat up in the breeze. A nervous wait for Megan Fitzsimon, but she marked.
I had a feeling that the players were intentionally putting it up there, but I think the wind is actually dragging the ball a little bit higher and loopier.
Gamble up high, got a hand to the ball. Push out though, he's going the way of Brisbane. Free kick. Conan. Long inside 50. Smith. Oh, what a gather. Couldn't quite find a teammate with a handball. Postlethwaite was immediately wrapped up, but Taylor Smith lurking dangerously inside 50. Does the whack work here? Holding free kick, going the way of the D's. Paxman went short and dangerously. Hodder was there ready to pounce. McNamara steams through. O'Dwyer bumped off it by Paxman. D's defence under siege here. Hodder applying the tackle on Gillard. Significant height mismatch there, but can't keep Courtney Hodder out of the game. Kathy Spark got the handball out. Conway didn't quite run under it cleanly. McNamara head over the footy with Kathy Spark. They're hanging on here, the D's, for dear life.
Doing a really good job defensively. The ball's been in the sort of forward half, forward 50 for the Lions for a number of minutes now, and Demon's just working super hard to make sure it doesn't go through.
High kick towards the forward pocket. It didn't stay in for Davidson. Came from Anderson. Getting a quarter. 12 disposals all up so far for Ali Anderson. Colvin will be advanced 50 metres. Yeah, so that is one way to help Melbourne get stuck out of their defensive 50. She'll switch to Paxman. That is a dangerous kick. O'Dwyer was coming from the opposite direction. Overran the ball. Paxman to the lightning speed of Mackin. Sweeps the handball over the top to Heath. Towards half forward. Lutkins is there ready at ground level. Holding up excellently across the half-back line at the moment. The half-back line, it's missing Matt Grider. D's go inside 50. Zanka in the pocket. Tucked up against the line. Took a bounce. Swept the handball inboard. Brisbane with the numbers around the contest though. Hickey, Anderson. Davidson presenting on the wing and safely grasps it. Into the middle. Just over the head though of Dawes. Had support though from Anderson. D's had the numbers. Goldrick tackled by Dawes. Then went back and won it. And umpire gives Goldrick the benefit of the doubt there.
Again, both defences just doing a mountain of work to make sure that the goals can't be scored.
Handball from Campbell, went back to Lampard. Luckins just dropped the mark, but Bannon arrives. And you don't want to get in the foot race with Alyssa Bannon. From the pocket, great composure. And it goes across the face. It's still in play. Bolt's brought down by Hoare. Kept in here by Fitzsimon. She's guided over the line by Conway. And the Lions breathe a sigh of relief.
Again, really good numbers there from the Lions, just doing the work in defence, just putting numbers at the contest. Alyssa Bannon absolutely was in that foot race. Fantastic work. But just loved to see the numbers came from the Lions to put that perceived pressure on and maybe impacted how the ball floated off the boot.
Zanka out of the ruck, round the body to the top of the goal square. Bannon and Lutkins are there. Goldrick arrives. Handball fed out to Anderson. Made it somebody else's issue. And Lampard has taken the mark. Probably too far out to score, but she goes to the top of the goal square. And Hickey drops back in the hole and marks on the last line of defence and calls for calm.
Inside 56-4 this quarter in favour of the Lions. Still no score, Ben.
Davidson tracking it, goes off the ground, and a lucky bounce there for Hartle. Mullins kept her feet, beat McNamara to the ball. Hand pass back to Hampson. Oh, it's a double handball there for Hampson. She tried to feed Anderson. Postlethwaite strong over the ball. McNamara applying the pressure on Ali Anderson.
It's quite an extraordinary quarter, isn't it, Ben? Just no scores at all, but just such great play going from deep defence to deep defence, both ends of the ground. One-on-ones all around the ground.
Lots of players missing for the D's out of their best team. Taylor Harris, we know, the shoulder injury. Lauren Pearce and Lydia Purcell as well for Melbourne as Hodder kicks it towards half forward. Mackin overran the ball. Hampson did well, just not to dive on top of the ball there, but and will probably take the forward 50 stoppage. Played that really well, Ellie Hampson. So important in that grand final last year against the Kangaroos with a couple of goals. This was Belle Dawes. 20 touches and 13 tackles against the Kangaroos. Kick smothered off the boot. Goldrick not going anywhere. If the D's can get one against the grain, massive confidence booster for them heading into half-time. But the ball is stuck in their defensive 50 at the moment. McNamara, interesting handball. It was not a handball according to the umpire. Holding the ball is the call. Conway will receive the footy.
Still probably 2 kicks away from being able to reach the goals, you'd think, here with the wind.
Inside 50 she goes. Pack forms. Heath tracking it. Mithen desperate to lock it in there. Footy not going anywhere. 5 minutes and counting left in this second quarter. Scores haven't changed since quarter time. Next few minutes oh so important. This is a big footy right here. Conway pounced on it. She's trapped. Exhausting quarter. Tackle after tackle for these two sides. Beasley has taken high according to the umpire. So they can set up a forward foray from their defensive 50 here. Thumping left foot kick from Beasley towards the wing. Done one-on-one with Zanka in a good matchup.
Challenger just tracking back behind the footy until the team resets the stoppage. Brisbane always just so set up well behind the footy.
Conway is trying to be careful with the kick, but went out of bounds on the full, and Lampard can set Melbourne up here. And 71 for Lampard. Zanker. High up the ground. Inboard. Now Mithen. Excellent work from Beasley, who took it. Touched off the boot, so that won't be a mark if Hall's able to take it cleanly. Conan guides her across the line, but importantly, Melbourne within striking distance.
I don't think Hall and Conan have been further than a metre apart all game, Ben. They are joined at the hip at the moment. Brilliant contest.
Zanker doing the ruck work here. Goldrick bumped her opponent off the ball, went back and won it, fed it out towards Hall. Conway met it first. Lovely spin from Mullins to Dawes to Anderson. They worked that out so well. Ball thumped away though by Colvin. She caresses the ball forward, hoping for Zanker. Got the kind bounce. Can't shrug off Conway though, and is caught holding the ball. So now it's Brisbane's defence having to do a mountain of work. The ball has lived on that outer side for the past 10 minutes or so. Campbell will bring it towards Ellinger. They're on the top. Ellinger dropped it though, allows Mackin in, and he's going to be rewarded. Laheen Mackin wins the holding the ball free kick.
Well, you feel, Ben, this is probably the first real opportunity either team has had to score. Got the wind at their back. Deep enough, you'd think.
25 touches, 1 goal last week. Big improver last year. Look at the wind take that across the face of goal. Brisbane will be satisfied with the rush behind, and remarkably, with 90 seconds left, that is the first score of this second quarter, which has been the definition of an arm wrestle.
Well, you think Brisbane, Ben, will be really happy with that outcome, just to be able to slow things down, have the ball back in their hands rather than give up a goal so late coming into half-time.
Campbell has tried to talk it away from the defensive goal square. Good handball from Hartle. Can the line set up some run from the back line? They can't. Heath. Excellent defensive pressure. Stopping the lines in their tracks. Inside 50. Lots of lines at the back, including Conway, although she just overran the ball. And Zanker can give the D's a look at a 450 stoppage here by that tackle. Lions desperate in defence now.
We've seen this for 9 seasons now, Ben. Just the discipline and the willingness of Brisbane Lions in defence to put lots of numbers at the contest, really suffocate oppositions. See it again today. Every time Melbourne try and force the footy forward, they've got so many Lions for company.
Campbell got it back. Easy handball away to Goldrick. Snaps it around the body. McNamara trying to run onto it. Campbell rips it away. She's brought down. 30 seconds left for the Lions to hold on and not give away a goal. Hartle won it back to Anderson. She turns it over. And the D's will have one final look inside 50. Almost marked by Zanker. Almost grabbed by the star. She thought she had it. Umpire says it was touched. She'll do the ruck work instead. Hartle able to feed it out. Campbell ready to apply the pressure. Final 5 seconds of this second quarter. Hall lurking dangerously, just ran over it. Bolt's got it away, and everyone can take a breath. As if that whole quarter was played on a knife's edge, waiting for one team to break. But in the end, just the one behind the Melbourne in that second quarter, and Brisbane leading 2 straight 12 to Melbourne 3 behinds. Very hard to separate these two teams, and no team shallow giving an inch across that first half.
Absolutely not, Ben. That was a brilliant quarter from both defences of the teams, but great team defence from both teams as well. Like just working both ends of the ground and just such an arm wrestle. Neither team willing to give an inch. Fantastic footy. Not great for the scoreboard for either team. Maybe even for the spectators, Ben, but it's a brilliant game of football here at Casey Fields.
Let's head downstairs to Lauren Wood.
Thanks very much, Ben. Here with Bree Conan, of course, the chief of that defensive setup. You must be really pleased with your ability to stifle the Ds.
Yeah, obviously coming off the back of last week, that was our primary focus for this week. And yeah, we were able to do it, and they absolutely put us under the pressure that last 5-10 minutes. So yeah, really proud.
Well, your coach Craig Starcevich forecast before this game that there would be a little bit of anger among the group and you'd be looking to set the tone early. You must be really pleased. I know neither team's really been hitting the scoreboard, but you've really been able to have that edge.
Yeah, it's just going to be one of those sort of days. I think the one that can be grinded out the longest will get the chocolates at the end. So yeah, really pleased with how the girls are doing at the moment.
What's the message from you, obviously, as the skipper into this second half, and where do we see this game going from here?
Probably just to maintain what we've been doing. Pressure's high. Obviously, our ability to locate in defence has been really good, but need to keep driving out and creating our own scoring opportunities going forward.
Get in there, freshen up. We'll see you in the second half.
Thanks.
Bree Conan, the Premiership captain, there with Lauren Wood. Half time here at Casey Fields. We'll wrap it all up after this coming up.
All right, we'll get back to them when they come back, the commentators, to give us their thoughts, etc. like that. But that was a tough old quarter. And of course, a lot of the play up and down. Both defenders doing well. And of course, it was only Melbourne that scored one behind in that quarter. That's all that was scored. It's a tough game out there. But one I think may open up a little bit more in the second half. Let's hope so. We'd like to see a little bit more scoring. While we're waiting, let's just go and have a little bit of a look at some of the players' stats now and have a look at this. Ellie Anderson, 21 disposals. She is having a ripper of a game. That's some big stats from anyone's standards. 21 disposals, more than double anyone else on the ground. 15 kicks, 6 handballs, 2 marks, a tackle. Ellie Anderson, best on ground so far. Mackin there with 10 there. Course for the Demons, 8 kicks, 2 handballs, doing well with a tackle. Isabel Dawes with 10, Cohen with 8, Goldrick with 8, Ellinger with 8, Conway with 8. Let's just roll down the board a little bit. Thanks for Tina and Bem Bem coming in. Mega love shout out to the manager, the most famous person I know. Good stuff. Thanks, Dave, for coming on in. Always appreciate that. Hickey there with 5, Campbell with 5, just going down the board. As of course we get to, we're going to have a look at the goal scorers. And of course there is only still the 2 goal scorers there at the moment, Smith and Davidson. Let's have a look at the fantasy points. And of course we know who's going to be on top here, and that's going to be Ellie Anderson, 21 disposals, 67 points on the fantasy points game there. Sophie Conway's doing not too bad. 61 with just 8 disposals, 8 kicks, 2 marks, 8 tackles, getting the pressure work in there really well. McNamara next best, 43. Hartle 42. Heath on 40. Let's have a look at some of the team stats now. I think they've evened it out a little bit. Melbourne now 93, 128. Lions are heading the way in the disposals. Kicks pretty similar, 62, 69 Lions way. Handballs. Lions trying to link up a little bit more that way, 59-31. Inside 50s now, steadied the ship, Melbourne, 14-16. 3 scoring shots, 2-2. It's hard work out there today, folks. Both defences working really well. Two of the prime teams in the AFLW competition playing off today. Free kicks, 5-7. Brisbane by 2 there. Still Brisbane leading the way in the hitouts, 26-14. Clearances all tied up. Centre clearances, Melbourne by 1 there. Stoppage clearances, all square, pretty much just 1 ahead to the Lions. Contested possessions, not much in that. Uncontested, Melbourne bringing that margin back, 47 to 68 Lions way. Turnovers pretty similar, 28-31. Time in possession for the match, 39% to the Lions, 3% more only, which is not much. Marks 19 to 18. Both teams taking the marks, but Melbourne is the only one with the mark inside 50 yet. But when you're kicking with that swirly breeze, it's a little bit hard. You want to be kicking them from a little bit closer in if possible. Tackles, both tackling well there. Both pretty much on season average. Tackles inside 50, both defences, as I said, holding up strong, getting the ball rebounding back out of the defensive 50 quite well. All right, folks, let's take this back up. There we go. There we go. All right, we're going to take you back down to the commentators as I give a few more thoughts on the game so far.
3 behinds. Ben Waterworth with you alongside Shiloh Curtis, the definition of an arm wrestle that first half. Shiloh?
Oh, absolutely, Ben. It's just a great contest. It may not seem like a great contest when you think only 1 behind was scored that last quarter, but geez, both teams set up so well, working really hard to not let anything through. And I feel like we might just see a break open in this next quarter.
Let's have a look at our Chemist Warehouse halftime highlights so far, and it was the Lions who got the quick start in particular, and when they were able to get some free-flowing play, particularly through the corridor, they used to switch pretty efficiently as well. Shiloh, they looked like a really dangerous outfit.
Yeah, absolutely. Particularly in the first quarter, Ben, they were able to get a lot of width across the ground, and just to be able to get a lot of outside run. Their handball receives for the game, they're plus 19 on the handball receives. It just shows you the work that they're doing out behind the footy, and also the width they're able to get. They're set up so nicely outside of the stoppages and the traffic. But that stopped in the second quarter, Ben, because Melbourne just tightened them up and no one could get outside anywhere.
In terms of best players on the ground, it's hard to go past Ali Anderson. The 21 disposals already, which has been quite remarkable. But when you have a look at that overall disposal count in particular, it's been mainly on the outside where the Lions have been doing their damage.
Yeah, absolutely. And 129 disposals already for the half, Ben, from the Lions. Quite phenomenal. It shows you how much usage they've had. But credit to Melbourne. They've had, the Lions have had 30 more possessions, but they haven't really been able to impact the scoreboard too much. But someone who certainly is playing a really big role, as you said, Ali Anderson, already to half-time, 21 disposals, 9 contested possessions, 3 clearances. But there's also 8 handball receives. It shows you how hard Ali Anderson works to win the football herself. Her work rate is absolutely phenomenal. She tracks forward and tracks back behind the footy, does so much work for her team. Fantastic work from her. The Lions are going to need a bit more than that, though, as are the Ds.
We'll find out how it all pans out in just a few moments. It's half-time from Casey Fields.
through absolutely beautifully. Fairy tale moment, I guess, and to finish the game that way, it was pretty special. And those last couple of minutes playing afterwards were probably the funnest footy I've played ever.
The Queens of the Jungle, they've reclaimed their throne. She's been an integral part of this Brisbane AFLW program since its inception, Bree Conan. Premiership captain last year, dual premiership player, and what a fantastic player she has been for the Brisbane Lions. As we head downstairs to Lauren Wood. Hello, Lauren.
Thanks very much, Ben. Still magnificent conditions down here. If anything, that wind has died down again, but of course, now that I've said that, it'll pick right up. We mentioned earlier in the telecast about the week of upheaval at Melbourne, of course, a new president at the helm, Brad Green. He's up on the balcony, front and square, of course, to see this women's team in action, and a number of senior men's players as well. Christian Petrarca, of course, Jake Lever, who's recently had surgery on that shoulder, and Max Gawn with his son George in tow. So certainly great support from the men's outfit as Melbourne works into an off-season that's going to involve a lot of change for the Demons there. So they're out in force here. Of course, the D's looking to get Ali Anderson under control. Hopefully she doesn't get off the chain in this second half.
Thanks very much, Lauren. There she is on screen. Ali Anderson, 21 touches, 9 contested possessions, 3 clearances. A big game she has played so far, Ali Anderson. But the D's still within striking distance, 9 points. They trail by as we start this second half from Casey Fields. Just the one behind in the second quarter. Brisbane hoping for the fast start here through Dawes and Anderson towards half forward. Once there off Davidson. Mullins tracking it, trying to feed back towards Anderson, but pounced on by Goldrick. And a beautiful kick to the wing. Zanker on the searching lead. Hoare and Conan are deep. Zanker doesn't quite have the confidence to kick that far. She goes short to McNamara. Big opportunity here for McNamara. She will go as deep as possible. Hoare is at the back. Didn't quite get to her in the end. Conan, beautifully done at ground level. That was so clean. To Conway. Davidson attacked it hard. Paxman hit the ground hard. Colvin says it over the line. It's deemed a lasso free kick. So Davidson will receive it on the wing.
I think Davidson actually signalled the lasso herself. She wanted the kick of the footy.
One of only 2 goal scorers so far. Smith, the other one. She was at the fall of this contest. Hodder got it from Kathy Spark. Now Smith back to Conway. Excellent link-up play. Sophie Conway backs her pace, backs her ability to kick the goal, but she's off target, and that's Brisbane's first minor of the game.
Probably could have run another couple of steps, and just to be able to straighten up, she'd done the hard work to get separation. She forced the Melbourne defender to peel off the one-on-one that was ahead of her and track into that space, but maybe had a little bit more time there to just square up a bit better.
So first look from a D's kick in at Casey Fields. Brisbane desperate to atone for last week's record loss to the Kangaroos. Mullins received it on the outside. Kicks it high. Smith underneath it. Paxman, so strong and above all shrewd on that occasion. Read the ball superbly.
Beautiful read of the play. Paxman, so many years of experience.
Hoping for Wotherspoon. Had Bolts for company. Mithen happy to see it over the line for the D's. It has, though, come off Mithen's boot, so it'll be a last touch free kick here for Brisbane, and they'll kick inside 50. Paxman again with the defensive spoil. They work there from Chaplin and Lampard. They work it out superbly from defence. Hall beat Conan on that occasion, but there is no Melbourne player in front of her except for Zanker. And now Goldrick provides an option. Needs the kind bounce, bumped off the ball. Grider able to win it back. Dunn, Ellinger, Dunn, Bolts, Conan. Beautifully worked out from defence by the Lions. O'Dwyer, if it sits, she's in business. It never sat for her though. Just overran the ball. That's right smack bang on the centre wing on that outer side. A stoppage. Great atmosphere, great family atmosphere here at Casey Fields today. Saturday morning time slot, beautiful weather. Two proud, successful teams going at it. Anderson sends it forward again. Lampard, composure, working it out via hand. Paxman got on the end of it. Mithen, Hanks, McNamara. This is better build-up from Melbourne. Was hoping for Wotherspoon, didn't quite have the distance. Conway brings down McNamara. Dawes, determined. So good at ground level. It's a glider. Brings it out towards Smith. Has Gillard for company, been a good matchup all day. Otter looking for the free kick, none forthcoming. Gillard just got a handball away to McNamara. D's with a few more numbers around the ball at the moment. So Paxman sends it inside 50. Can they get scoreboard reward for effort? It's just coming out of that defensive 50 so easily for Brisbane, and Bosselwaite with the relieving mark.
The quality of the exit kick generally, Ben's really nice coming out of that D50. They're able to set up and just let their team track forward, so they get these kind of options that they're seeing now to be able to work the footy forward. Really good work by the Lions.
On in the middle as Hickey and Grider combine, and Hickey with a deep kick. Might work out okay in the end. Looked like it travelled too far, but Kathy Spark in the end able to bring it to ground. O'Dwyer and Mackin, the two Irish girls going at it. O'Dwyer couldn't pick it up cleanly. Brisbane have a look here from a forward 50 stoppage.
Ellie Anderson's added another 4 possessions. Of course, the game record is 42 by Ash Riddell, so we'll keep an eye on that in the second half.
There is another one for Anderson. The handball. Hoping for Hodder. Smith towards the top of the goal square. Ruby Spark going back with the flight. Wasn't paid the mark. And then she was held without the footy. So she gets the set shot that she was after in the end.
Prefixes.
She thought she'd marked it. Goldrick was right on there. The tackle just lingered too much.
Yeah, well, interesting disposal, I guess, there. Ben didn't necessarily look like she hand passed it, but the umpire may not have seen that. But she probably deserved the kick anyway for the mark.
Has rare athletic traits, according to Craig Starcevich. Is Ruby Spark, premiership player last year. 7 goals in her AFLW career. From directly in front, makes no mistake. Much needed goal for Brisbane.
Well, Ben, that goal really came off a great passage of play that started deep in defence. Really smart D50 exit kick that came off on the near wing here. And the way in which the team then set up, once they'd taken control of the footy on the half-back flank, just allowed them a little bit of width to be able to kick out on the switch of the 45 and then be able to look at options deep forward. Put the defence of Melbourne under pressure, gets the free kick, they get a goal.
Turned into a great pick for the Brisbane Lions. Pick 38 back in 2020. Game number 31. With Kathy and Ruby Spark at the same time. It's the first time throughout their whole lives they play together in the same team, and it just happens to be at AFLW level, and they're both integral members of the side. Conway with another inside 50 for the Lions. It's a perfect kick through the hands though of Davidson. McNamara run down by Ruby Spark. Inspirational team lifting couple of minutes from Ruby Spark.
And just the breakaway, the slickness of the handballs and the work of the Lions runners there through the midfield to provide this opportunity, fantastic.
We'll put it right to the top of the goal square. Gillard in front, just got the handball away. Paxman under siege, tucked up against the line. McNamara kept it in. Could have taken it over the line, could prove costly. Carefully, in the end, Hill guides it across the chalk. Melbourne under pressure now. Still yet to score a goal. At half-time, it was the 7th time they'd been goalless in their AFLW history. Chaplin just got a handball away. Grider there, ready to tackle Miffin. Kathy Spark. Hampson Just got boot to ball. Melbourne with numbers around the ball, but Brisbane not letting it get out of their forward arc.
It's great pressure here by the Brisbane forwards. Make sure that they honour the work of the midfielders, just making sure the ball stays trapped inside 50.
Goldrick hurries it away. Good pick up by Miffin, but there's no mates around to feed it out, so Brisbane holding a 16-point lead. Conway, a mountain of work today. 11 kicks for Sophie Conway. The last time these two sides met, Sophie Conway kicked the 2 goals and 3 AFLW best and fairest votes. Big game from her then. Kathy Spark to Ellinger to Dawes. Grider on that trusty left. Into the arc. Davidson, so strong.
She led up with that footy really well there. Ben protected the drop zone, was able to just knew it was coming down pretty vertically, in fact, and she was able to just protect that drop zone beautifully, take the mark on her chest in the end.
She's a thumping kick, Dakota Davidson. Everything would have to go right here from this set shot. Tough pocket on the ground to kick a goal from. Dakota Davidson is playing at the height of her confidence in the past 12 months. Kicks towards goal. Just travels across the face, still in play. Dwyer guides it across the line.
It's inside 50s this quarter, Ben. 6-4 in favour of Brisbane, but you feel like, I guess, time in forward 50, just you would think the imbalance would be heavily in favour of the Lions, given Melbourne hasn't really been able to exit this area of the ground.
Mackin with a high kick out of defence. Tracking towards the line. Grider and Miffin. And Grider held with a footy. She thought she was. No free kick. Doesn't matter for Brisbane. Ellinger kicks it inside 50. Hartle at the back with Gillard, but Gillard too tall, too strong with the intercept grab. Brisbane done well to block the switch there, so Gillard has to go back towards that outer side. But Horn, in the end, uncontested, able to take the mark. She's going to pull the trigger with a handball inside, but it was an inaccurate handball. Hampson ready to apply the pressure, along with Davidson. Hall. Now Dawes. Back towards Conway. They were looking to try and free it up there, the D's through the middle of the ground, but just the inaccurate handball stopped that from going much further. Mackin, kick smothered, and it's pounced on by the star. Ali Anderson off to the left.
The D's in all sorts of trouble, Ben, just still can't exit that defensive 50, and Brisbane have had it inside their forward 50 for 52% of this quarter so far. Melbourne just the 6% in their forward 50.
Paxman short to Goldrick. Now kick inaccurate. Zanka all the way up to half back to get a touch here. Watt. Beasley. Works back inside. Good run from Mackin. Then a link-up play. Beasley again involved. Onto the left and kicks up towards half forward. Punched away by Dunn. Now Fitzsimon. This is promising build-up for Melbourne. Zanka hoping for Miffin inside 50. Ryder right with her. At least the D's have been able to get it deep in their attacking zone.
But even that transition, Ben, there were 3 Brisbane Lions players loose tracking back with the flight of that footy to put support in around that matchup with Conan and Kate Hoare. So really good discipline. They work super hard for each other in defence, the Lions.
Watt in front. And Beasley. Dangerous every time she's gone near the ball. Today, Grace Beasley.
Certainly shows a bit, doesn't she? You feel like she's got confidence out there, adjusting to the pace of play relatively well.
Miffin caught holding the ball. That will come back. Try to accelerate away from congestion. Again, Matt Ryder waiting to apply the pressure. Anderson somehow is left wide open. Ample time to assess. Towards half forward. Paxman there with Smith. Did Smith get a hand on it before it went out of bounds? No. Lasso free kick to Paxman. Squares it in to Lampard. Now, some space for Melbourne to work with. McNamara has Zanka working really hard towards the wing. Didn't get a kind bounce at all. And Lutkins was there to apply the pressure and held on to the tackle for too long, Kate Lutkins.
Probably didn't need to do that. Had done all the work. Put the pressure on Zanka. They had a 2-on-1 against Zanka. All they needed to do was just win the footy off the deck once she got rid of it.
No easy kicks though for Zanka, so she has to go to a contest. Paul. Another holding free kick, this time going the way of Brisbane. Coming back to Mullins.
Any Melbourne fans in the house disputing that call?
The season she had last year, Charlotte Mullins, 8 goals. Premiership campaign. Hodder. Anderson again. Just somehow able to extract it and get free. Dawes. Backs her speed. Gets away from Zanka and goes again, does Belle Dawes. So goes inside towards the top of the goal square. Bounce important here. Ruby Spark waiting to pounce. It's rushed over the line. Paxman there again to save the day. A couple of times today, Belle Dawes has threatened to kick goal of the year.
Feel like something is sitting in the mind of Belle Dawes this year. The way she's always been a hungry footballer, but there's just some spark about her. I feel this year that's a little bit different. Just wants, if she takes her game to another level, look out opposition.
Bannon. Oh, clever little back heel towards the advantage of Heath. That was brilliant from Bannon. And Heath has some speed and time. Conan tracking it here. Pisano on debut. What a moment that was. Classy bit of play from Alicia Pisano to Fitzsimon to Hanks, who takes the mark, plays on. Dangerous kick, but it works out okay in the end. And after setting up her teammate with a set shot at goal, it's an opportunity for Alicia Pisano on debut to kick her first AFLW goal.
Well, you just got a couple of glimpses there of the class of Pisano when she got the footy. It wasn't overawed, just really smart, played to the structure, looked to the top of the 50 for space and was able to execute under that pressure. That's the most important bit. You can think it, but you've got to deliver it.
Her captain, Kate Hall, said during the off-season that Alicia Pisano will turn heads in the AFLW. She kicks Melbourne's first goal of the game.
Alicia Pisano, she set the goal up. She was able to work back into the forward line and then produce another lead there for Tyler Hanks to be able to spot her up, get Melbourne closer to goal, get them straighter, and then she had to finish in front of goal. Fantastic work, not overawed by the occasion at all. Ben, a late call up, of course, with Lauren Pearce out, and just turns up like she's been playing for the last 10 years at this level. Fantastic work.
Now, Medibank mind-blowing moment is Alicia Pisano's first AFLW goal. She is a natural goal kicker, Shiloh, playing for the Eastern Rangers in the Coates League last year. 38 goals from 11 games. She knows how to find the sticks.
Absolutely, and you look at the composure and class, and as I said, you've got to be able to execute, so she's got the skills to go with it. Got a bright future ahead of her. She's on the board for her first goal.
Can that spark Melbourne? Quick kick comes out from Hanks towards half forward. Pounced on here by Wotherspoon. She just gets boot to ball. Mullins takes it. Umpire called play on, but has Grider behind for support. Attack there by Heath. And now Hodder. Towards half forward with the kick. Over the head of Davidson. Thumped away by Colvin. McNamara. Just able to feed a hand pass away. Davidson, great follow-up work. Colvin applied the pressure. Melbourne's energy just lifted. Mackin. Coming up for disposal number 15. Great penetration on the kick. Bannon going anywhere. 23 seconds left. Can Melbourne get another late one? Free kick, illegal contact, going the way of Watt. 17 seconds and counting for the D's.
Kate Hawes just snuck onto the ground for a interchange bench. She hasn't got a player against her yet.
Zanka from behind, and once again, Captain Conan stands tall for Brisbane. Takes the relieving intercept mark, and what a kick to Taylor Smith. Brisbane still lead by 12 points at three-quarter time, but Melbourne's debutant Alicia Pisano gives them some hope as we turn for home. Brisbane 3-3, Melbourne 1-3. Fourth quarter coming up on the other side of this.
They're fast.
All right, so it is a tight third quarter there where Melbourne finally put on their first goal. Well done, the Melbourne 1-3-9 trailed the Brisbane Lions 3-3-21. Brisbane Lions, they were pressing in that quarter, kicking 1-3. A lot of the ball spending their time down the forward 50 for the Brisbane Lions. But now Melbourne did well. Their defenders did well to hold fast and prevent Brisbane Lions from scoring even more. Still anyone's game here. It's only Brisbane by 2 goals. And of course, Melbourne coming home with the kicking end, I feel, with a little bit of that breeze there. So Melbourne in for a big chance. As I said, Melbourne is the only team with the most wins, best percentage wins over Brisbane Lions. Of course, Brisbane are one of the main teams in the competition with 3 premiership flags already in the AFLW competition. Let's just go and have a quick look and have a look at Ellie Anderson. She's up to 29 disposals now. Absolute cracker of a game. 20 kicks, 9 handballs, 3 marks, 4 tackles. Best on ground at the moment. She's having a very big impact on the game today. Just the one behind. Be nice to see her slot a goal and put that to her numbers. Be fantastic. Isabel Dawes, 16. Mackin on 15. Sophie Conway there on 11. We'll just roll down these. Charlotte Mullins on 9. Before we get back, not too far away, Jenny Juice, mega love shout out. Welcome in. Hope you're having a fantastic Saturday. Happy weekend. Happy weekend to you. And of course, happy weekend to everybody. We've got to love the weekend, especially when the sun's shining. It's fantastic. Goal scorers. 4 goal scorers now in the game. And of course, Ruby Svark, Taylor Smith, Dakota Davison are the goal scorers there for the Brisbane Lions. And of course, Pisano is the only goal scorer there for Melbourne. But don't go away, folks, because I think Melbourne might be in for a good last quarter. Brisbane doing extremely well. But I think it's got that feeling that Melbourne might start to push forward a little bit in this final quarter. They're giving it a red hot crack go. Red hot crack go? Red hot go out there today. It's been a pretty good game, been pretty tight. It's all about a defensive game of both teams out there today. So let's hope this game opens up a little bit. 22 inside 50s for Melbourne for their 4 scoring shots. 26 inside 50s for Brisbane for their 6 scoring shots. So it's levelling out there. The Lions are just capitalising on their chances. As you see, the efficiency inside 50. A little bit low for both sides. 18% there for Melbourne, 30% there for the Lions. But disposal efficiency within the match, 63-66%. Reasonably even for both sides there. Free kick 7-11. Brisbane still by 4. Just have a quick look at the stoppages, 30-12. Clearances, 5 to the Lions in front. Centre clearances all tied up. Don't forget, following this game of Melbourne taking on the Lions, we are going to go straight into the next AFLW game. And of course, that is Collingwood taking on Hawthorn. So that should be a good game. That being played down at Victoria Park, the old Collingwood hunting ground, their old home ground down there. So that should be a great game down there. And don't forget, folks, after that game, of course, we've got the start today of the men's finals again. We've got the qualifying final between Sydney and the GWS Giants, and that game will be followed this evening by Brisbane taking on Carlton. All right, folks, let's get back down to the ground. It's the Brisbane Lions by 12 points. Can Melbourne come back and make a game?
Time, Brisbane 3-3-21, Melbourne 1-3-9. Ben Waterworth with you alongside Shiloh Curtis. We saw a glimpse of Alicia Pisano's talent in that third quarter, and it just gave the D's a lift.
Yeah, it was a really important passage of play there, Ben. Melbourne had done a lot of work to just sort of offset a lot of the pressure, the defensive pressure they had to endure for most of that quarter in the Lions' forward end, and then be able to bring the footy down the way they did and then have a youngster on the end of it that way. Just fantastic from her.
Let's listen into what Brisbane coach Craig Starcevich had to say to his side.
Right, so a lot of hard work, but all the hard work's got to count for something at some point, right? You've been working them, then they get the lucky one that goes forward there and they end up scoring from it, all right? But we can push up into the breeze. We did do that well in the second quarter. We have got a method for being able to do that, which is carry it, spot up the short one. We haven't really got much of the handball receive going after the short one yet. I reckon there's a little area that we can actually utilise this quarter, if you want to.
Given so much to the Brisbane Lions and to the AFLW across 9 seasons, Craig Starcevich story. He has been leading his side to a couple of flags, but he knows the task will be tough for his side in this fourth quarter against the breeze. We are underway. Campbell and Hickey go at it in the ruck. Anderson applying the pressure on Goldrick. Fuck, sliding in hard there. Got to force the stoppage. 12-point differential. Campbell decisively won it down. Dawes, quick hands. Anderson, another disposal for her. Hodder sprinting forward to try and get hands to the footy. Goldrick hacks it around the body and into the lap of Wotherspoon, right in the middle of Casey Fields. Some run from behind for the D's. Inside 50, Zanka with authority. Hanks turned it over. Beautifully read by Dawes. And Ruby Spark took on the tackler. Ran straight into Chaplin. And Ruby Spark a little worse for wear. Chaplin with a wonderful piece of play. Brought down Conway. Allows Wotherspoon to kick deep towards the goal square. Conan gets back to save the day.
Wow, so after having 3 quarters of really tight, congested passages of play, we now just see probably one of the most open forays forward from Melbourne we've seen all game. That was fantastic work from them.
Dave Chaplin in particular had a couple of really important moments defensively today, but that was clearly the most important. Hodder feeds it wide to Postlethwaite. There's Heath for company. It'll be tossed back in about Maeve Chaplin before game number 23. A couple of big tackles. Well executed on Sophie Conway there, not to give away the free kick as well. The D's took the advantage. Short boundary throw-in. Dawes and Anderson. Towards half forward goes Ali Anderson. Well weighted to Smith. D's have the extra number back. Smith tries to carry that extra number towards Davidson. Holman's had a good game down back today for Melbourne.
Anderson moving to 32 disposals, 10 off the record.
Player she is, Ali Anderson. Campbell decisively down. Goldrick just got boot to ball, it's dangerous. Smith wasn't paid the mark, but on the right side for a left footer. Just held up in her momentum. And Paxman was able to get the clearing kick away. Open field here for Bolts. Corralled by 2 Melbourne players, and that is a dangerous kick. But Ellinger arrives at the right time and wastes no time. Hits the ground running, kicks further afield, but Goldrick in the right place at the right time. Takes a breath, goes towards Bannon, who presents and takes on Grider and beats Grider. And she's in her natural habitat here. Hair pass over the top towards Hall, just wide of her. And Brisbane will be happy with the ball up.
Interesting decision there by Bannon to give the hands off. I probably would have backed her in with the foot speed there, but doing the team thing, I could be a little bit closer to goal.
Goldrick sweeping around the stoppage here. Tumbles it forward. Zanka ran into Grider. Bolts did well to lock it in because there are a lot of Melbourne numbers waiting to pick up if the ball spilt free. O'Dwyer there with McNamara. McNamara holds it in. Must score here, you sense, Child over D's.
You think so? Goals have been really hard to come by today.
Can Goldrick deliver? Can't quite get a boot free. Anderson repels towards Conway, and Mackin pitched it away from Conway. It's a thumping kick. Does the team thing towards a 2-on-1. Was hoping for Zanka. Spark was there to get in the way. Mackin goes again. And hugs the ball into Ellinger.
The way in which the Lions peel off their opponents to put the +1 where the ball is when the danger zone, to be able to force the turnover. Fantastic work from them.
Hanks and Anderson. Was there a free kick? D's fans thought there was. Ellinger keeps it in. Then he's corralled out of bounds. And is caught holding the ball.
It's probably the right call there. She was looking for the boundary, just waiting for someone to tackle her over, so held on to the footy for too long.
Paul centres it. Conan. Big time player, has had some big moments in this contest. Wide to Conway. She has to retreat. Dunn can set up the lines from the last line. Bolts. Melbourne disciplined in their setup here, so no easy kick for Bolts. Paxman met the ball first, but O'Dwyer ran onto the footy and kicked it towards the middle of the ground. Hanks retreats to Gillard. Miffin and Conway went at it. Ellinger again at the back. Loves to tuck the ball under the arm and accelerate away. Inside 50, misguided kick. Chaplin again.
And we just saw Eden Zanka come to the bench holding an arm, looking really proppy on one arm in particular, so might have to keep an eye on that.
It's been their go-to across half forward all day, Eden Zanka.
I think Melbourne couldn't afford to lose another tall player.
I'll play Campbell. And not going anywhere. Lauren Wood downstairs.
Hard to tell, guys, if it's actually dislocated. It certainly looked that way as she came from the field. Medical staff are working on her now, trying to get some mobility into that right arm. So we'll give you an update shortly.
Thanks, Lauren. D's two big injury blows in the past 7 days to Taylor Harris and Lauren Pearce. Fingers crossed it's okay for Eden Zanka. In the meantime, Dakota Davidson, with authority, takes the pack mark.
Yeah, terrific work there. She's been thereabouts all day. Ben, of course, kicked that goal nice and early, but that's probably the first time we've seen her inside forward 50, that lead-up target, really take a good contested pack mark. You know that you just can't give her an inch. It might not be her day, as you say, but it might be a moment, and there's one of them, and then she can cut you apart with those few moments she gets.
The first goal of the game from directly in front. Does it have the legs? It does! And the accuracy, and of course, the celebration.
Well, terrific work there again by the Lions. Just the work through the middle of the ground. A lot of that forward work is coming through the work of Ellinger, who's playing in that loose peel-off role across the middle of the ground and being able to bring the footy forward. In this case, the Lions able to find a hard lead-up forward in Davidson. Of course, you get it in her hands in the corridor. She's pretty straight in front of goals, Ben, and out off 40, she kicked straight.
She's always been a dangerous player, Shiloh, and been able to get to the right spot at the right time. But do you sense her contested marking has really improved in the past few years?
Oh, absolutely. And we saw that last year in the grand final when the opportunity's there and you position it in the right way for her as the kicker. She'll take those marks every day of the week. And then just her consistency in front of goal. I love the strength about her. I love how much confidence she has in herself to finish as well.
What's your read on Eden's anchor, Lauren Wood?
Appears to be her right elbow, guys. I know we had initial fears about that shoulder, the way that she carried it off, but getting treatment now, some taping around the elbow. She's had some pain spray on it too, but let me tell you, she just retied that famous ponytail, and I've never seen someone look more uncomfortable. An incredibly awkward movement for that right elbow, so unfortunately not looking good for Eden.
Thanks, Lauren. It's a story developing at the moment. In the meantime, Dakota Davidson involved deep inside 50 again. She's kicked one from near point-blank range in the first quarter. Big set shot a minute ago. This is tough. Wrong side for a right footer. Tucked up in the pocket. You can see the flags in the background. This is no easy kick. But Dakota Davidson makes it look easy. Epic finish from the Brisbane star.
Well, you can blanket her for 3 quarters, Ben, pretty much, and not give her much lead up or opportunity at the footy. And you give her a free kick hard up against the boundary late in the game on the wrong side for a right footer, and she'll thread the needle beautifully. Davidson, just love the confidence that she brings to her game, makes her so effective. It's a beautiful shot on goal.
That is worthy of a big celebration. Dakota Davidson, 3 goals in a low-scoring game, continuing to get better with every game she plays. All-Australian last year, 23 goals, 8 she kicked, and already has 4 goals in this AFLW campaign. For all of Melbourne's hard work, those 2 Davidson goals at the wrong time for them. Kathy Spark sends the lines forward again. Hodder brought the ball to ground. Mullins crumbed it. Melbourne able to win it back. Paxman to McNamara. Goldrick in front. Way to kick from McNamara. Hanks provides some support. Almost broke the ankles there of Ellinger. Class on display there. Pisano was the target, went over her head though. Bannon tracking it. Will go off the ground. It's unfortunate if it goes out of bounds. Kept in play superbly by Fitzsimon. Gives Smith a chance. Melbourne will take a forward 50 stoppage. 7.5 to go in this 4th quarter.
Really good work there to make sure the ball didn't go out of bounds. Drawing on the Matildas' work there, bring the ball back inside 50, they get a stoppage instead of a lasso free kick against.
Disposal number 36 for Ali Anderson. Coming off the 29 touches last week. Just a ball magnet. Another kick, that time they smothered. Holding the ball, free kick. Courtney Hodder really does give the Lions an extra dimension around the ball. Conway sharing it with her teammate and kicking it along the line. Gillard first hands to the ball. Hampson was there, shrugged off a couple of tackles, dropped the footy. And will be pinged for holding the ball. So Ali Anderson with a career high now, 37 disposals against the D's. Kick into the middle. Mackin has been a threat for Brisbane off half-back all day. Lampard gets around Mullins. Beautiful delivery inside 50. Probably the best delivery to Kate Hoare all day, and perhaps the first time she's at least been able to get a metre on Brie Conan. Plays on, kicks smothered off the boot. Campbell comes forward though. Hall with a good look at the goals finally. Inside, towards goal, nails it. Lovely finish from the captain.
Well, great second effort there from Kate Hall. Had the lead up mark. The kick was smothered off the kick forward. Probably wasn't going to be a legitimate shot on goal given she was kicking from about 50, but I loved her reaction time to be able to pounce back on the footy. She'd lost Brie Conan, who's been wearing her all game, and in the traffic there with the play-on situation was able to eye the goals and then finish straight. Beautiful work by Hall.
77th goal in her AFLW career, Kate Hall. Playing game number 70 as well. It's a terrific record. Constant threat. Play midfield, or as we see now, deep forward. A weapon for the D's and a terrific leader. Dawes off the ground. Paxman intercepts, and Caver don't argue on Ruby Spark. Just got a handball away. Hodder. Working hard to O'Dwyer. Inside 50, Davidson again at the fall of the ball. Got hands to it. Colvin. Handball away to Mackin. Took the extra step and kicked him in the middle. Over the head of Hall and Conan. Clever tap back from Campbell. Just a little ill-directed, but followed up with a superb tackle. That work from the ruck. Stepping up in Lauren Pearce's absence today. Centres it towards a 2-on-1 against the D's. And in the end, a free kick to Kathy Spark. Anderson. O'Dwyer. From outside 50. Colvin brings it to ground. Good to see Zanka back on the field. Over the head of Heath. Anderson with another disposal. Just out of reach there of Postlethwaite. And out of bounds it goes. 39 touches for Ali Anderson.
Of course, the record is 42, held by North Melbourne's Ash Riddell.
20 contested, 7 clearances, 5 inside 50s. A monster game. No one near her at this stoppage. She almost got it again. Gillard got it away. And as far as Hickey, a big bump there. Strong from Hanks. Good presentation there from Campbell, but was stumped away from her. Lutkins, clever tap to O'Dwyer. And then Campbell with a brilliant double tap back inboard to Mackin with some awesome sidesteps, but couldn't escape the grasp of Campbell.
Just did all the work there. Was a bit blindsided to the tackler on her near right. A beautiful passage of play.
D's with the numbers at this contest. Gillard able to take the intercept mark. Switch is on. Goldrick received it from Lampard. Into the middle. Brisbane jumpers everywhere. Grider, not sure where to go. It's Campbell and O'Dwyer in support. O'Dwyer sends it forward towards Anderson. Zanka tracking it. And a big don't argue on Ali Anderson. Roar of appreciation from the D's fans here. Oh. That is an incredible intercept mark from Nat Grider. Sums her up there in that passage of play.
That was fantastic. Just sometimes you just love being a fan of the game. Like Nat Grider, that was awesome.
59th AFLW game for Nat Grider. O'Dwyer kicks it forward, but it's all Melbourne. Through Paxman. So final 2 minutes of this contest. Paxman takes some territory and kicks it into the middle. Bolts.
Hasn't she been good today, Ben, across that half-back line?
And sets up an opportunity here for Ellinger. Colvin coming the other way. Conway just overran the footy. Beasley sends it forward again for the D's. Campbell easily bumped off it there by Grider, but Melbourne have numbers around the ball here.
interesting. Dakota Davidson's gone back into defence for the last few minutes of the game. They're either trying to flip some players around and give some people exposure forward, or they're just trying to make sure there's a little bit of contested marking capability in that back area leading into the final siren, not to give away a late goal.
Simon kicks it inside 50. Out of the hands there of Chris Campbell. Anderson, another disposal. Into the 40s. Ball comes to ground here. Dawes. For Anderson, another touch. And Hampson on the left. Kicks it towards the wing. That will go out of bounds. A Lassu last touch free kick. 63 seconds left. There she is. 40 touches, a couple away from the AFLW record. Fitzsimon to Goldrick, inside 50. As it almost marks, I call play on. Wotherspoon found some space, got boot to ball. Conway has it on the outer side. And along the ground via hand. Ford trying to lock it in and force another scoring opportunity in the final minute of this game. Here are the numbers. The AFLW best and fairest winner. Add another touch to it. 41 off that stoppage there. Ruby Spark at halfback, who lit it up for the Lions in that third quarter. Big rundown tackle. Came up after a settling goal for Brisbane as well. Anderson with another touch to make it 42. Equal record in the AFLW. And Brisbane responds after last week's record loss with a tough, hard-fought victory at Casey Fields. Brisbane by 18 points over the D's. Terrific win for the Brisbane Lions. An excellent response after the big loss to North Melbourne last week by 44 points. And defensively, they were so sound today, Shiloh Curtis.
Yeah, they were excellent today. I think they probably spent a lot of time reviewing the game last week, just trying to atone. And today was really around getting the system right again. And they'll be really happy with their response today. Brisbane Lions, they were methodical, they were very disciplined, they worked really hard both ends of the ground, and they played the inside and the outside of the contest really well. A really balanced game, lots of contributors, but of course, Ellie Anderson with the amazing 42 touches today was just phenomenal for the Brisbane Lions.
Don't forget as well about Dakota Davidson, who kicked the 3 goals and a couple in the last quarter as well, and the game was still up for grabs. Some important set shot finishes from the Brisbane Lions star forward. They reviewed the loss last week really meticulously, really objectively. I understand it's about a 90-minute review, which is nothing sort of too out of the ordinary in terms of length, but they came here to do a job and they executed it well.
I think the word that was used, Ben, was something like forensic.
Yes.
It's a forensic review of last week, but I never worry too much about the Brisbane Lions when they've had an early loss. They've got a whole season to pick the competition apart.
Let's head downstairs to the equal record holder of disposals in Ali Anderson with Lauren Wood.
Thanks very much, Ben. And could it be anyone else? Of course not. Just a lazy 42 touches for a Saturday morning, Ali, equaling the competition record. An incredible performance by you. I would imagine it felt pretty good.
Yeah, no, it was such a good team performance. Everyone got us through today. It was, good to get our first win off for that. So, yeah.
Don't sell yourself short, of course. I know nobody likes talking about themselves, but that's exactly what we're going to do. You are a league best and fairest winner. You are a premiership player. You have just about done it all in this competition. What have you done to keep your game going to this next level, like exactly what we saw today?
I think it's just, really good pre-seasons. We have great S&Cs and great physio staff. So, they sort of get us on the field and get us firing the best that we can. So, just a really good pre-season. The girls, obviously, with training and stuff, we all push each other so hard. So we're just constantly getting better because of that.
Last week hurt, didn't it? Up at home against North Melbourne. It must just be so nice to get things off to a winning start here today.
Yeah, definitely was a hard pill to swallow last week. So really good, early in the season to have a loss like that, and to be able to come out this week and really, give it a hot crack. We're pretty happy with ourselves with that.
I imagine defensively too. I mean, against a team like Melbourne, to just keep them to a couple of goals on their home deck, it must give you great confidence to go back home with now.
Yeah, definitely. They're such an incredibly strong team. So, for our defenders today, they did such a really good job, and our forwards kept it in. So, it was just a really good team effort.
Fantastic. Get over there and celebrate with the girls. Sing the song. Well done today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
A monster game from Ali Anderson. 42 touches, 22 contested, 8 clearances, 6 tackles, 5 inside 50s. But this is the moment that she'll treasure most from this game. A hard-fought win away from home for the Brisbane Lions. And that roar reverberates around Casey Fields. It's a now 6-4 head-to-head record between Melbourne and Brisbane in favour of the Demons. Brisbane now with a 3-2 record at Casey Fields. They like this ground. They certainly came here with no fears, and that played out on the field today, Shiloh.
Yeah, absolutely. They play this deck beautifully, and just, again, I really like the way the Brisbane Lions were able to sort of diversify how they play football depending on the situation at hand. And, the wind was doing some interesting things today, and I just really loved how they were able to respond to the conditions and to what Melbourne were able to do as well. And Melbourne responded every time Brisbane went forward, but really was that second half, probably the last quarter really, where the game was put on Brisbane's terms.
One of the stars of the day was Dakota Davidson with 3 goals, and she's with Lauren Wood.
Certainly was, Ben. And Shiloh just mentioned on the broadcast, Dakota, the wind was doing some weird things out here today. Not great conditions for a forward, but you managed to make the most of it.
Yeah, we took the most of our opportunities. Everyone loves coming down to Casey. It's known as a bit of a tornado site, but the wind, that's part of the footy, but you've also got to get the footy in your hands. So we took our opportunities when we did, and we're stoked that we got the win in the end.
Saw you swing down into defence late in the game. I suppose a little bit of a different move for you, but probably just a sign of the versatility of this team, and you're just continuing to add strings to your bow, aren't you?
I wouldn't call I was very good down there. I just go down there just in case they need some towards the back end of quarters. But I enjoy going down there, and it's always fun to get a different feel for another position. Don't get any ideas. I will not be going down there anytime soon.
Don't sell yourself short. You're obviously the reigning premiers this time around. You are the hunted, and you have been in this position before, but nice to even the ledger now.
The ledger.
Well, a win and a loss for this season. So you're even keel now.
Yeah, good to have a bounce back from last week's pretty disappointing loss. But the girls rallied together, and we were really, main focus was to come here and just perform how we usually perform. We know how we perform, so the girls got that done in 4 quarters today, and we're super excited for ourselves.
And head back to the home deck now. You've got Collingwood next week. Obviously, get over this one first and review this one, but obviously go back with a nice little boost with a win under your belts.
Yeah, 100%. It's always good winning these games in such short seasons. So Collingwood next, we'll enjoy this now in the flight home, and then come Monday we'll roll through a review and then on to the next one. So it comes around quick.
You're a handy goal kicker and you're a handy celebrator too. So get in there and do a bit of that with your teammates. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Shout out to Johnny Jack, awesome bloke, awesome guy. Thank you.
Dakota Dave.
All right, folks, that's it. That is full time here at this AFLW game where Melbourne took on Brisbane Lions. But it was all the Brisbane Lions 5-3-33 defeating Melbourne by 3 goals, 2-3, 15. The Lions by 18 points. Blokeware, Blight Wave supporter and sniper shout out. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate that. We're just about to end this one, but we want to have a look at these player stats because we want to have a look at Ellie Anderson. 42 disposals. That equals the record of number of disposals for anyone in any game in the AFLW. There you go, Ellie Anderson. 28 kicks, 14 handballs, 6 marks, 6 tackles, 155 AFL fantasy points, kick to behind. She had a fantastic game. Wowee. So did Dakota. I'm kicking those goals. I'll just run through these last final stats for everyone. Just check your favourite player. See how they performed on the day. But Brisbane were just way too good, way too solid, way too professional. They look like they had the hunger back this week. Of course, after that big loss last week to North Melbourne, they certainly came out firing to prove a point why they are the reigning premiers. Here we go. So Dakota Davison, leading goal scorer with 3 goals there. 3 straight, kicked very accurate off her 7 kicks. Ruby Spark, Taylor Smith kicked singles for the Lions and, of course, for Melbourne. Pisano and Hoare were the only goal scorers. But that is the game. That's it. We're wrapping this one up. Thanks, everyone, for coming in. Of course, coming up straight after this. Where is it? Let me just drop it for you. Oh, we had the poll there today, by the way. We did have a poll there. Who's going to win today's game? And, of course, we had 18 votes there. And there we go. 50-50. 50-50. All right, next game. There we go. I'm just going to drop the link if anyone wants to go across. That is the next game. We'll be live in a matter of minutes. And that next game will be, of course, Collingwood taking on Hawthorn. AFLW action again from Victoria Park. That should be good. But, yeah, we couldn't pick who was going to win today in the chat. 50% for Melbourne, 50% for Brisbane off the 18 votes. Fantastic. Well done. Well done, Brisbane Lions. Great game, great effort. Hold them in good stead for next week. I think Brisbane Lions takes on the Magpies next week. But next up, folks, of course, we've got Collingwood taking on Hawthorn. AFLW action coming up. That game starts in 5 minutes' time. So we are going to end this one and then we're going to jump over to a new live and cover that game. Should be a great game. Looking forward to that one. Of course, being a Collingwood supporter, I'll be cheering on the Magpies, the Collingwood faithful team there. Let's go Pies. All right, everyone. Thanks, everyone, for coming in. Appreciate that. I hope you enjoyed the football coverage. Of course, don't forget, after the next match, after Collingwood and Hawthorn AFLW, we've got the men's qualifying final coming up, which is Sydney taking on the GWS Giants. And then after that game will be the elimination final. Brisbane taking on Carlton. So we've got an action-packed day of football coverage here for everyone. So it should be wonderful if you love your footy. All right, folks, that's all from me. Ciao for now. We'll see you in the next game.